I got to call it like I see it. I've never done it any other way. We've made this comment as it relates to other teams in recent years. I remember it happened first with the Texans trading for Laramie Tunsil, the Rams trading for Jalen Ramsey, the Seahawks trading with the Jets for Jamal Adams. And this relates to the trade that sent pass rusher Haason Reddick from the Eagles to the Jets on March 29. If you are trading for a guy who is unhappy with his current team, in whole or in part because he doesn't like his contract, it's probably a good idea to get him to agree to a new contract before you trade for him. And to tell him point blank, you take our best offer or we're not going to trade for you. Because look at what the Jets have now. They have a problem. They surrendered their leverage to Haason Reddick by trading for him without getting him to agree to a new contract. He still wants a new contract, and he deserves a new contract. He's making $14.5 million this year. It's actually $14.25 because he's already given up a $250,000 workout bonus by staying away from the voluntary portion of the offseason program. The big question this week for the Jets is, will he show up for mandatory minicamp? Well, he's already given up $250,000 to make a statement by not being at the voluntary stuff. They only have a 2-day minicamp. The fine is reduced. It's around $50,000. He's going to, I would assume, if I was wagering on this, and they probably have the prop, but if they don't, they probably will at some point. Will so-and-so show up for mandatory minicamp?
Yeah.
I would take the under. I don't think he's going to be there. All because he's doing what he can to get his contract. Because the Jets didn't go to him and his agent at the time they were working out the deal with the Eagles and say, hey, you want out of Philly? 14.25 here. Here's what we'll pay you. And we'll do this trade right now. You get him to agree to it then. Because now it's all on his side. He just sits back and waits for the Jets to blink. So, the Jets aren't the only team to have done this in recent years. They're just the latest to do it. And they're the one that's having it blow up in their faces because they've made the trade and they've yet to see the guy.
Well, you take it, when you first hear about it, you go, wait, the Jets were they fully aware that we knew that he wanted a new contract, right? That was news to everybody. We talked about that. He had an issue there in Philadelphia. Now, I think the first thing you question is just like, hey, was he willing to just go, hey, forget the new contract, I just want out of here then. If you're not going to pay me, get me out of here. And the Jets take him, and then it became, hey, wait, I still want the new contract? Or were the Jets aware of this all along, and hey, we're trading for him, and this is what we're going to get, and we know what we're getting and all that? I've been led to believe that they knew what they were getting into here. They knew what they were getting into. Now, I mean, to what extent, I don't know, right? But I think they made the trade understanding of the Haason Reddick, his camp, all that, knowing that, yeah, he's going to want new money there, right? And, yeah, they traded for him, so Reddick's got some leverage, to your point, Mike. But I do think the Jets have leverage here, too. One where the Jets aren't desperate for Haason Reddick. They have 2 first-round picks that play defensive end that are damn good. I mean, they got a chance to be really good. We know Jermaine Johnson is a really good pass rusher. They drafted Will McDonald from Iowa State 2 years ago in the draft. He is going to be the other starting DN there. So they're not like, oh, no, we can't field a defense without Haason Reddick. That's where they have a little leverage. And Haason Reddick, where, yeah, it's fair for him to want a new contract. I get that, right? And he signed, a 3-year deal, the last deal with the Eagles, right, if I remember correctly, right, Mike? So
yes.
In the last year of this. So I get it. It's a little below market price for what he's done. But at the same time, I would also go, this isn't Nick Bosa or TJ Watt either, right? And it's not the kind of guy where I would put him in the top tier, upper echelon of pass rushers in football that I'd be like, oh my gosh, if we don't have him, our team's changed. We're just not the same that way. So that's where the Jets have a little leverage in this situation as far as not being desperate and then also being able to play the angle of, wait, we're the Jets. You're getting up there in age a little bit. You want a new deal. We're made for you. We got Aaron Rodgers. We're going to have leads in games, and now we're going to be able to unleash the pass rush. And you're just going to watch. It's the Seattle scheme. You get to line up wide and just get after the quarterback and get sacks, and you'll be fresh because we're going to rotate you with the other 2 studs we talked about. So there's a lot of things that play in favor of Haason Reddick being able to succeed on the field to set him up for a new contract too, Mike. is what I'm saying. But it's it's an odd situation, and I'm interested to see how this kind of plays out here.
The Jets gave up a third-round pick in 2026 to get Reddick. It becomes a second-rounder if he has 10 sacks and takes 65% or more of the snaps for the Jets in 2024. So it isn't tied to him doing a new contract. It isn't tied to anything about his longevity there beyond this season. It's just 10 or more sacks or 65% or more of the snaps in 2024 kicks that 3-2 in 2026. So it is down the line, and teams view differently what future draft picks are worth, but still, it's a third-round pick. We talked about a third-round pick for Darren Waller. Yeah, he's not Nick Bosa, but Nick Bosa's at $34 million per year.
I hear you.
$14 million a year is below market, and Haason Reddick, just like Tyreek Hill, at age 30, clock's ticking. This may be your last chance to get paid. Haason Reddick doesn't want to wait one more year when he will be 30 to hit the open market and get that next contract. He's trying to get something now, and I assume he wants a little bit more than just a raise now, wants some security for 2025, not necessarily 26. And that would behoove the Jets, if they really believe in this guy, work it out now. It's cheaper than, let's say he does have another double-digit sack season. He's had 4 in a row. Let's say he has the kind of year that would make him attractive on the open market. You've got his rights beyond 2024 if you work something out now. But look, the start of training camp is really, I think, the true deadline, but he already has given up $250,000 by making a statement and staying away from voluntary offseason workouts. He'll give up $50,000 more or thereabouts if he stays away from mandatory minicamp, and I would bet that he will. And we'll see if they can get it worked out by the start of training camp.
This would be an interesting one. I don't know if this one's going to get worked out. I'd be interested to see where it goes. Maybe they can give him a sweetener. But, Mike, what I would say is, well, why would they want to commit to him long-term when they have 2 guys coming up the ranks that they go, damn, we're good. We want them long-term.
Why'd they trade for him?
Right?
Why'd
because they need depth. We know. I mean, again, we watch the Super Bowl. The 49ers die out with their pass rush. Everybody does. You got to have more than 3-4 quality pass rushers right now, right? And yeah, he's kind of the odd man out. He was the odd man out in Philadelphia for the same reason. Wait, we got Bryce Huff. We're paying him a lot of money. Damn, we drafted Nolan Smith, right? And we think he's got talent and watch out for him. So we're going to have to pay him money, carry the forward, do this in a few years. And then they got Josh Sweat there too, who they're already paying. So he's in an unfortunate spot of where his age is and the market at his position absolutely freaking exploded right after he signed the last deal. And he got a little unlucky there. But I don't know what leverage he's out here totally in this one. And to me, and again, I'm always for the player making money too, but I look at it too, and you heard me say this last year with like Saquon, or like I want to say, hey, go to camp. Get in there, get in shape, be your best. Do what Mike Florio just said. Have a great year and put the pressure on the Jets to go, damn, all right, we didn't want to give him a long-term deal, but here we are in week 14, and he's got 14 sacks, and we got 4 more games left. Like, maybe we need to think about this and reorganize the checkbook a little bit that way. Nonetheless, you put yourself in that situation, he's going to get that contract you're talking about from somebody else, even if the Jets don't want it. So that's the only thing I would say. It is a perfect system fit, and for where he is in his age, they're not going to kill him with the rotation they got. So those are the positives I look at it, but I certainly understand him wanting more money. I get that all the way.
Well, and if they brought him in with the intention of saying, we're just going to keep him under the terms of his current deal, we're not going to give him a new contract, then they can't be surprised if a guy who already wanted a new contract isn't happy and isn't showing
that's
up.
What I don't know, but
the
you're right.
dynamics change with the opening of training camp, though. Right. That's when the daily fines, 50, 60,000, something like that. It can potentially change every year. It locks in for a couple years, and then it goes up. It's non-waivable beyond your first contract, so even if he stays away and then they work out a deal and the Jets want to make that money's got to be accounted for. The league has made that under the most recent CBA something that cannot be waived beyond your first contract. So it's an issue, and he's going to have to figure out whether or not he wants a blink, and the Jets are going to have to figure out whether or not they want to blink. And my point is this.
Yeah.
Don't do the deal. Don't give up the future third-round pick. And I guess from Joe Douglas and Robert Saleh's perspective, who cares about a third-round pick?
Well, they're doing exactly what you're saying with Darren Waller. That's a little bit they're going the risk, and they're saying the risk might be worth it. So what? Well, yeah. One of our pass rushers gets banged up late in the year. Damn, all right, we got another stud starting here. Or in the playoffs, we know how important that is. You're playing Mahomes, right? You're in a lot of passing situations, all that. Hey, we got 3 pass rushers to contain him, like legit. So I got to think the Jets were aware. I mean, we know they were aware. Everybody was aware. You and me were aware. But I got to think they took a calculated risk here and kind of assessed the situation and said, we can play hardball here. I don't know what he's got to stand on. At least that's what comes to my mind as I thought about this a lot last night as, I saw the rundown and realized we were going to talk about it.
I'd have put a term in there if I was the Jets about getting that 3rd-round pick back or having it reduced to a 4th-rounder if he doesn't show up for training camp or something to protect me against a protracted contract issue in the event that I acquire this guy's rights and he doesn't show up and I don't get value out of him in 2024. And maybe they tried to do it and the Eagles just said, no, these are the terms. If you want him, this is what it's going to be. But we'll see. We'll see how hard line of that the Jets take with Reddick. We'll see if Reddick shows up. It starts or it continues this week, mandatory minicamp, and then really the key moment will be the start of training camp. Will he be there for that if he doesn't show up for mandatory minicamp? Hi, it's Mike Florio. Thanks for watching PFT on YouTube. Hit subscribe for the latest news and analysis from Pro Football Talk.